Hi guys, this is the market update because this whole ceasefire situation just flipped again and the market is reacting right now. Yesterday, after the 2-week ceasefire announcement, market reacted positively, and this morning when I checked, situation just flipped again. So I'm thinking, is this whole idea of ceasefire, is it real or is it falling apart? Let's break it down. Let's start with what just happened this morning. Israel, Lebanon, Iran, all this drama. Then we can jump on charts after that. So on the BBC News, Israel attacks on Lebanon, grave violation of the US-Iran ceasefire, Iranian minister tells BBC. So in other words, Iran is coming out and saying the US did not respect this ceasefire. Well, seriously? We basically just started this ceasefire. This is day 2. After the announcement, the day of the announcement, and this is day 1. This is ridiculous. The CNBC posted, Lebanon's economy minister seeks clarity on ceasefire, mixed signals as Israel's strikes continue. It's very, very, very unclear. So Iran, they don't trust the situation. And this is confusion. So this is confusing everybody. So accusation everywhere. Nobody really agreeing. Lebanon's economy minister told CNBC it does not know whether it's part of the US and Iran's 2-week ceasefire deal. And Pakistan said Lebanon was included in the argument, but Israel said it was not. So all this is, again, sending an uncertainty on the market. But before we go to something else, let's just check the oil chart. Look at this. You see that topping tail? Long wick at the top. This is exactly what happened in silver a few months ago. So price got rejected here and the seller, they stepped in. So oil basically said, no, we're not going higher than that. And that was before the news. And look how all that printed respected the technical analysis. Look at this. We are really respecting this uptrend. We touched here, then we had a rally, and then from here we had a rejection going back here. We touched this point again, so we forming a higher highs, and then again we had a move to the upside, and then from here exactly, and this is where we had the news. And look at this sell-off here, and again look at that, look where we are now, and then again we have the market is going green again. If the uncertainty is still there, if they don't have an agreement, problem will start happening on the Hormuz if it's closed. I assume the price will go up to this level here. Now let's move to the Bitcoin chart. So you see we had, after the news, we had a beautiful run here. And then again, we got rejected because we have a resistance here. And like I said, if we break through this resistance, then our next level would be the 75 area. We started dropping again because of the news. And of course, because we have resistance here and because uncertainty came back. Let me show you something else. Let's head quickly to the CME gap chart. Now look at this. The CME gap, it's still not filled. We have this area here and this area here that has not been filled. And if you see before, we had a gap here. So the market has to go down again to fill this gap. And then we had it. And then we had it again here where the market went down and filled this gap again. But here we have an empty gap. So this gap has not been filled. And so this one as well. The resistance we have, the uncertainty and all that will push the market to go down, to fill the gap. So what does that tell us? We will probably revisit this area before any strong move. Let's check what potentially could happen. Remember, we are only predicting and nothing is certain in this market. So if the ceasefire is respected and if we hear more bullish news, then yes, we can go higher. We can break and then we can go to the next leg up. If the ceasefire is cleared and we have a clear signal that it will be respected, then yes, we can go higher and then we can form these higher highs. And that's on the daily chart. So from here, we can go up to here. And then we need to break this level in order to go to the next level, which is the 75 level. But if more uncertainty, more attacks, more drama, more confusion, or mixed signals on the market, then the market will pull back, and then we will have to revisit the lower area, of course, and fill those CME gaps that I showed you before. The next lower level would be, of course, the 68, but if we go even lower, then, you know, the worst case scenario is will be 52, but I don't think it will go lower than that. So now I want to show you something really, really interesting. So this is a video from Jack Muller. He's explaining why Bitcoin is superior. And this is really interesting because people like Peter Schiff still don't believe in Bitcoin. So you got two sides. So you have an OG versus the new generation. Let's watch this.
Gold can't achieve transaction finality without the help of a government or a central party, meaning that when gold was operating in a local economy and you can exchange the physical coins with your direct counterpart for your butcher, your local tailor, your grocer, whoever you were exchanging with, gold was great. When the world needed to scale an economy and the velocity of money larger than your local economy, gold failed us. Gold failed us because gold is just a bare physical metal. It does not carry a monetary network. What's the gold network? The gold network are human beings. And when you're trying to transact in an economy of billions of people globally, you are reliant on central parties, banks, governments. And it was for that reason that gold failed. And it failed in a way that you can't operate a truly free market when the concentrated supply is with those that you have to trust. And so that's fundamentally what Bitcoin solved, is that you are able to create a scarce bearer instrument and a network that can achieve finality in transactional settlement without the reliance on any government or central party. So that, I think, is extremely, that's really the core issue of why gold's been demonetized since. I think on the points of Bitcoin like needing more history and it's young, I mean, I think that sounds like a personal problem for you, Peter. Like that, I think you need more evidence. And that's you being slow to recognize reality, right? Like if you were to need the internet to prove that email is better than traditional mail, you would just be late to adopting better technology. That doesn't sound like, that's not a point or a criticism against the properties that Bitcoin has. That's your own personal bias of how much proof that you need to adopt something that might be superior. So that's on you. And
this is so funny. Now, so to wrap up, from the ceasefire announcement from yesterday, the market reacted positively yesterday. But today, we have already problems and confusion, uncertainty, and uncertainty alone is enough to move the market. Let me know in the comments, do you think this ceasefire actually holds, or is this just the beginning of something bigger? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.